Cool, guys. So let me first set the agenda for the call. The agenda of the call, first of all, I want to cover how to increase show up rates, and I'll show you exactly what we're doing in FirmFlow AI. And if this is optional, we actually close another 6K deal this week. So if you'd like to, we can also go through the onboarding process for that, but it's pretty much the same thing that I went through last week. So quickly just confirming, do you guys see any benefit in going through the onboarding process again for this week's close, or do you feel like I've already covered it? So drop a 1 if you'd like to, 2 if you've already seen it. You've already seen it, right? I see 2.
Sorry, can you repeat the agenda again, Arzan? I'm sorry, I didn't really get it.
I was setting the agenda. Number 1 would be, of course, that I want to go through the follow-ups and reminder process to make sure the calls that you do book, they actually show up. But I just wanted to confirm the other deal that we closed from my agency. Would you like to see the onboarding call again for that, or we've already covered it last week? One if you do want to see it, 2 if you've already seen it. You don't want to. Come on, guys, quick. That makes no sense. Why would you say 1 and 2? Okay, cool. We'll take that as 2. Most people said 2. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Yeah, let's start off with me just sharing my Calendly website or going into that specific event and then screen sharing all the reminders that I have. But while I do that, Ryan, please take over and I'll let you guys know when I'm ready.
Brilliant. So one of the things we had on the agenda was, especially for those who are just starting out in business, and the big thing that comes up is focusing on the one thing that you need to be doing to get the results where you actually want to go, and not getting yourself caught into the whirlwind of seeing a billion different opportunities the minute you land into this business space. You happy for me to dive into that, Arzam?
Yeah, no, just give me 2 seconds, please.
Yeah.
Workflows. Because I'm trying to go into this specific event and then show it to you guys. But I guess we could start off with one of the mindset topics and then go from there.
Yep. Yeah. So, guys, hopefully you can all hear me and you can see me. So, big mindset thing when we all come into this space. I know for a lot of it, first time we've potentially been an entrepreneur. Maybe we've had ambitions before, but maybe this agency is the first time you've started a business. Maybe it's a second or third business you've attempted. One thing I see, and one thing that is across this entire marketplace, and it's all potentially something we all come across, is we start seeing opportunities everywhere. We start to see that we can make money online, and then we get hit with opportunities from every single angle, thinking that I should do e-com, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, sell PDFs, make YouTube videos. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And you can do all of these things. But what I would say is, and the one thing when you first get started in this business that you've decided to commit into is, first of all, burn those other ships that you've got floating around in your dock right now. Sorry for the metaphor, but right now, a lot of the time we can look out, we have that dock. There's all these boats that you want to get into. The problem is you can't go out you can't go out in all of them at the same time. Meaning you've got to focus on one and burn the other ships and go out and build the agency first before you can pursue the other options you've got. Because from what I imagine, a lot of you guys this isn't the end result to where you want to be. An agency isn't your end penultimate goal. You've got goals that you want to go and achieve that require money. And this is a vehicle to help you get to that point. But what happens is we derail ourselves very quickly when we go out there starting this business, and then we start becoming aware of all the other potential opportunities. And then we divert our focus and our attention. And when we actually look at the reality of how far we've made progress in our initial business, it tends to be very little. And the risk that can happen is we can start getting ourselves demotivated. We can get ourselves into a state of procrastination. And some of you may have seen this already, because when you start losing that focus, your energy goes everywhere. You're not able to double down into things you need to do to move the needle forward. And then you're stuck trying to chasing your tail all day long, not knowing why you're not where you want to be. But you see other people getting there, other people taking actions, and it gets more confusing and more overwhelming. The problem that can happen is when you reach that overwhelmed state is then what you do afterwards, because you'll be in a cloud of judgment, you won't make clear decisions. And it can very much take you off the path that you set yourself onto. And so one thing to always be honest with yourself and double check that you are still taking those actions you need to do to build this vehicle that you said you were going to build in the first place. I think sometimes we get caught up in believing that it's going to take decades and decades and decades to get to the point where it needs to be something big and special. But as Arzam's proven, it's not the case. As there's a lot of the students already proven, it's not the case. But unless you focus in on it and divert your attention into building it, it won't build itself and it won't compound. And you've probably all seen, and Arzam will attest to this as well, time's going to pass regardless. We have 168 hours in a week. You can't control where they go necessarily unless you focus on it. Yeah, you've got to focus on using that time up. But the hours are going to go regardless. And if you put it into loads of different ideas where you think about it and you get excited about it and you see the potential in it, but you don't actually go and take those actions needed each day to build it, you'll see now when you look back how much time you've wasted. And the quicker you just put that energy into it and you get that time dedicated into building it, you'll get the results. You can then eventually start diversifying into the other areas you want to. And then that's where the whole world opens up. But it's before you've started to do the work and you see the opportunities, the risk can happen that you end up putting all this thought energy into everywhere, burn yourself out, don't take the actions, and leave yourself deflated and in a state where you can't move forward. And just again, I know I've been there myself many times before. You see the shiny. The shiny will always exist, but first build the vehicle to get you there, and then you can drive that vehicle wherever you want to. Hopefully that makes sense, guys.
I think
thumbs up of that.
I think it's better, guys, if you just type in the question so then we can, answer immediately just to clarify things. It's better to type it in for now, at least. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll just quickly show you guys what I was mentioning at the beginning of the call, just to make sure each call that you do book, they actually show up. Because what's worse than doing all the effort, paying for ads, whatever the case is, and people don't show up. And alhamdulillah, the only reason I'm showing you this is because I get more than an 80% show up, which is absurdly good. It's good. Not absurdly good, but it's very good. For this offer, for employee ad. So what we do is two things. We use this specific template. Should have shown you the other one. Let me show you the other one first. Give me a second. Yeah, so basically we send them a confirmation message from Calendly, and what you guys can do is go on your Calendly account and you can set this up pretty easily yourself. Like, again, if you need help, I can record a Loom video how to set up a workflow, but you can just search up on YouTube how to set up a workflow on Calendly so that whenever someone books on that event, it sends them this confirmation straight away. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because it's like a template that is proven to work. Now, the template that is proven to work is this matters a lot. The what do you call it? I completely forgot what do you call the thing. The subject. I think it's called subject. So yeah, this is a proven subject. So firm flow AI demo call. But if your system is called upscale system, upscale AI demo call. So whatever system name is, demo call. That's the subject. And then what's in the actual email itself, then it's this. Just copy this exactly. And I'll leave this here so you can maybe pause the video recording if you're watching it later on and just copy this. All right, this is what you send to them. This is the template. This is as soon as they book, right? That's one email sent to them immediately. Then you also set this workflow to not just be on email, but also send on text message. Same thing. So email, text message, and then you send another one on WhatsApp if they have it. Then essentially once that is done, then you wait a couple of days and 5 minutes before the actual call, then you send this, what I'm about to show you. So pretty much the same concept, but it's slightly different because it's sending them a reminder 5 minutes before the call. Let me know if you guys can see this one as well. Can everyone see this? Drop a 1 in the chat if you do, 2 if you can't. I'm trying to zoom in. 1. I actually flicked this pen to my face. I'm not sure if people saw that. It's kind of embarrassing. But yeah, this is what you send to them 5 minutes before the call. And that's not only text, but that's also email as well. So that pretty much makes sure that there's no chance they won't show up, or there's no chance at least they won't see the reminder itself. So remember, email automation, text automation, then you also manually message them on WhatsApp. This is for you guys right now that are either using our manual outbounds, you're running lead generation ads that you book calls with yourself, or you're using one of the cold calls that I've given you. So it's those 3 options to make sure they actually show up, because you have to be very, very proactive to make sure these leads don't go wasted, because you're putting effort, money, time to getting them on board, and you don't want it to be when the time comes they don't show up. So everyone clear? When they book, there should be an email, text, and also WhatsApp message. Now, the 5 minutes before, send them another one, a text message on WhatsApp. Then there should be another automation through email, and also one through text. But if you really, really want to make sure that you don't miss anything out, send one the day before as well. Same process. WhatsApp message, email automation, and also text. What I'm giving you right now is just exactly what I'm doing to achieve a 80% show up rate. Maybe you could try different things, but don't, because here's the right answer. My job is to give you the right answer, and it's working right now. So yeah, that's it. And now for people that are doing outbounds or using the cold calls, here's something that I would try and do. So with this firm flow AI niche, everyone here knows I'm not an accountant. All I did was I just typed in on YouTube how to get more clients as an accountant. And then I saw all the experts doing podcasts or interviews, giving advice to accountants. Let's say competitors of mine. Either they have coaching programs or they have agencies like, right? So I went through their podcasts on like 2x speed and just kind of understood the language that they're using, understood how they're solving specific problems. What we want to do is create a simple Google Doc, giving them basic generic advice just to solve one of the problems that they have. So that is called a lead magnet. Now, the reason why we're using this lead magnet right now, in this case, while doing outbounds and using the cold callers, is because that is a completely cold lead. That's a completely cold lead. Now, to bring up that intent, they've already shown some sort of intent by booking in a call with you, by you doing cold calls or your cold caller doing it for you. So they already are showing some sort of intent. But what we want to make sure is that intent stays consistent. What we don't want to happen is they show intent there. It's very, it's not that much, and then it goes downhill by the time that it's time for the call itself. So you want to send them that Google Doc. Hey, here's a free gift. Please go through this before a call. So that does 2 things. It warms them up to you, who you are, and just shows you as an expert. And then it also does one of the key principles of influence, which is the law of reciprocity, which is I do something for you, you do something for me. So if I've done something valuable for you, you would just subconsciously know that maybe I should do something back for this person, which in this case would be showing up for the call at least. And once they show up on the call, you use the process that I showed you last week, and then see if there's a need for your service, and then close them. Does that make sense, guys? Just to confirm, we set up the automated reminders across 3 platforms at the time of the booking, or the 5 minutes before, and you can do the day before as well. I would actually add the day before as well. So 3 different times. As soon as they book, day before, 5 minutes before, right? And any other questions about what I've just gone through, guys? 1, if it all makes sense. 2, if it doesn't. This is the time, guys. Look, ask me questions if there are, because I really want to make sure it definitely does make sense. Okay, I see 1's coming in. Just need to see a couple more, and then we'll move over to the next step. Okay, perfect. So this will ensure, these guys are highly likely to at least show up for the call, and they do. And then, of course, you can use the sales structure that I have given you to close them. So just to recap again, reminder for when they book the call. Through Calendly, you can set automations, email them, send them a text message, WhatsApp message, day before the call, email them, text message, WhatsApp message, 5 minutes before, email them, text message, WhatsApp message. Okay. And if they are someone that's booked in through cold calling, or your cold callers have booked them in for you, then simply even go on ChatGPT, make a simple Google Doc, give them free advice how to get more clients for HVAC, Anish, right? Just simple, giving them as much advice as possible, just so they know, okay, this is an actual expert, has given me some sort of value, and then that will at least create some sort of curiosity for them to then show up for the call and then use the sales structure. Perfect. We've covered it once again. That's pretty much it, guys. Ryan, I'll let you take over again.
Yeah, really good system. And yeah, just to note onto this stuff works phenomenally well. The more touch points you've got, the more efficient you are. They'll perceive you as the experts you are. They'll take you serious. They'll show up and they'll give you the time because they've seen you've invested your time accordingly into helping them move along the process. It's a nice system you got there. It'll make a big difference. So guys, mindset, back to mindset again. Now you've got something you can action. The next thing we'll tap back into is mindset, something we see time and time again, especially starting out. Is this idea of having to have everything perfected, having everything perfect every single moment before you go and take those actions. Now, for some of you in this group, I know you've applied everything immediately. Some of you may have been teetering on the edge of doing it, but still maybe holding back a bit because of that fear of uncertainty, a bit of fear of doubt, thinking things are going to be better than they maybe are. But again, what I challenge you all guys to remember is the power of compounding. Just drop a 1 if you've heard of compounding before. I'm not sure if it's a term you've all heard of before. 1 if you have, 2 if you haven't. So typically compounding comes in from the terms more of the financial world, where they talk about something called compound interest. And it's about you have the set amount of money and then you gain interest on top of that. That interest then goes back to the original amount, and now your money's worth more based off the interest, and then that keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it compounds and gets greater. Another way to look at it is like Arzam goes to the gym, he keeps lifting weights. Eventually the compound is he'll get stronger and fitter. Back to business is that more time you put into these actions and activities, the compound will be that you will be better than you were the day before. I know that sounds simple, doesn't it? But a lot of us, we get caught into this mind that we have to be on the ball, the sharpest, the brightest, the all-knowing from the immediate get-go. And it does not exist. Social media as a whole isn't as true as it all plays out to be. All you're seeing is the compounding effects of somebody putting the time into consistent actions, and they're just a bit further ahead of you. That's really what it comes down to. And it's through that journey of consistently chipping away, when it compounds, you'll be a different version than you were a week before, a month before, a year before. And trying to get that to look into your current reality, right? Think about when you first started a job. Think about when maybe you first went to college, to university, school, whatever it was. From where you first were when you joined to then the end outcome, you were 2 different people, right? You weren't the person you started, where you started off and where you finished, 2 different people. Big thing is not to put so much pressure on yourself again to expect that you're going to nail it every single time. By actually playing in the arena, you get time in the arena, you get used to the arena, you get used to the rules, the tools, and the actions you need to take, and it becomes easier as time goes on. Another thing, like playing a game. I don't know, some of you might play video games. You might not go and master straight away, but you restart and you go over. Now, when you restart and go over, you're not restarting from zero, are you? You've got knowledge and awareness and more time dedicated into it that you know what to do next time better. And that's sometimes all you've got to look at within this game you're playing right now within the agency model, is that the more time you put in, the more compound you get out. You're learning systems, processes, skills that you can take into a huge amount of arenas. massive amount. But again, it comes down to, if you don't put that time into it and be brutally honest with yourself, if you're not where you want to be, I can guarantee it's because you haven't put the time into it so far. Thought energy is one thing, but actual taking those actions is another thing. And make sure that you don't get stuck in here thinking about all the things you should be doing, should be thinking, should be saying, what it should look like, what it should feel like. Don't give yourself the ability to stay there. You haven't even earned the right to be in that position yet. Go and actually prove to yourself that you can be that person by taking those actions. And then you can spend more time refining what that is once you've really got a proven pathway that you've implemented. Because if not, it will get so confusing up there that you won't be able to take those actions and ultimately reach the end outcome. I know, Arzam, you've probably seen it a lot with coaching students in the past, but
yeah, it's a big issue. Overthinking, really being apprehensive about what's going to happen, how will I get the client, what will happen after I get the client. Look, obviously, it's a fair thing that you're asking those questions.
Yep.
What we do as humans, we want to make sure that our future is secure, we stay alive, and that thought of what if the client doesn't close, what if nothing happens, what if I'm not able to deliver. It's that thought of danger in your head. So subconsciously, you keep thinking, which is fair, but you kind of also need to use the logical side of your mind and bring yourself back to reality, back to the same moment that you're in, and really ask yourself, will I even get there if I think like this? Which the answer is no, of course not. And one thing that I've learned in the past, let's say 2 months, because honestly, guys, the past 2 months have been the most difficult season in my life, and it's nothing that other events have happened. It's more that I've gone through a big season of change and growth, where at this point we're spending about $920 a day in ads, and imagine that being taken out of your account every single day. And you have to perform, and you have to make sure everything's going right. Not just that, but everything else in the business, and everyone's happy, and looking after the new business as well. And while doing that in Ramadan, so it's very intense. So I'm just sharing what I used to make sure that I stay successful and I don't, lose the plot. Is chunking days down, knowing what I have to get done. I've always, since I've started, had this in front of me, where I have a list of things that I have to do, effective actions, needle pushing activities, and non-needle pushing activities that have to be done. Meaning the things that need to be done but don't exactly move you forward are at the top, and the things that will make me move forward are here. Right? So I have these in front of me every single day, clarified intention, and then I know exactly what I'm doing. And then all I have to do is just this. Forget about the anxiety of the end goal, what's going to happen at the end. All I can do is just show high intent, do the action steps, and then show excellence in my actions. That's all my life is: chunking days down, focus on what's in front of me, and then just take it one step at a time. And that's very difficult, I know, and I sometimes start to think about tomorrow. How will I do this tomorrow, or whatever? Just today, focus on today. We'll worry about tomorrow later. That's what I focus on too. And it's really helped me, go through this season and allow me to kind of adapt to this new system that I have around me. And also, just to quickly answer Asma's question so I don't forget, so we don't tell them this is the list of services we do, like Google Ads, this and that. We just stick to one thing. We use our upscale AI system, and we get you to the end goal. The more you start talking about the bits and pieces, and I do this and that, the more commoditized you seem. The more they're like, this just seems like you're just someone that runs ads. Where can I find this cheaper? But if you're more focused on their goal, more focused on showing them this is grass is greener, the more they would actually want to work with you, and that would differentiate. The reason why we use those offer statements is because that differentiates us. It gives them what they want rather than talking about what we will do for them. Because the more we focus on the what, the more commoditized we will seem. Does that make sense, Asma? So we're not talking about, we don't offer them Google ads or anything. We just do Facebook ads and combining that with AI. And it's just called a simple lead gen agency. Simple business. Something that you can automate very easily.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. So, yeah, Ryan, I'll let you continue.
Yeah, no, I like what you said there. I think it's actually worth maybe just peeking a bit more into what you do day by day, maybe to break that down just a little bit more with how you set your intentions, and kind of how do you rank your do's, your focuses and importance? Like what's your process there look like?
So every day, I know the two key things, the two key levers that I can pull is cash collected and making sure that there's no major problem within the clients, right? So that the cash collected is just taking the calls on time and making sure I send the reminders and all that stuff is done. Making sure there's no issues is responding to everyone on time and making sure that I keep track on everyone's impulse for the new business. I'm checking up and that they've got onboarded on Slack and my team is answering their questions. So just keeping everything in check. So these are the two levers that I pull every day, meaning to move forward. And how do I determine what to do? I think over time you learn what's important and what's not important. But at the beginning, for you guys, like I've always said, is just booking calls. If you don't have clients now, booking highly qualified calls and making sure they show up is all you have to do to then get your first 800-pound client. Once you do that, then we move over to the automation and do the other things and then scale from there.
Now, appreciate you answering that. Hopefully, guys, you're taking some notes from that. So be honest, guys, just a one or two. One if you are, two if you're not. Who here has the intention set each day when they go out to build their agency? One if you have got a clear intention, two if you haven't right now. One person's got an intention. Zero.
What about two? If you don't, be honest, and then we can maybe work on that. Like, be honest.
This is the big, we don't want to hide away from it. And sometimes it's not always clear in the head. We can get told it, but it maybe hasn't manufactured yet. So, okay, so we've got some ones and some twos. Challenge for those putting twos, or maybe those who don't want to answer it right now, is first of all, just commit. And even for the week, set the intention. Set the intention for the days. Even plan your week ahead now and know what your intentions are each day. And I think for those of you who have said two, if you haven't got clients yet, then as Arzam said, the intention is just to book calls. If that doesn't somehow stick enough and that doesn't get you to do something, maybe you might have to break it down a little bit more. Okay, the intention is book calls. Great. And if you go stare off into the abyss and go, oh, I don't know what that actually really is. Break it down a little bit. What does that mean? Or what are the actions that you have to take to book a call? Do you know and do you have everything ready and prepared? Because I imagine you do, but I also imagine sometimes you've then seen the bigger picture and maybe you're seeing so many things at once that, again, you're not narrowing it down to those actions you've got to take right now. And then it's like, what have you got to do to book the call? Do you then know from setting that intention what you have to do? If not, we've got to chunk it down a little bit more. And even if it's as simple as writing down, okay, today my intention is to book more calls. In order for me to do that, I need to make some phone calls. I'm going to make phone calls by doing X, Y, Z. So how am I going to make the phone calls with my phone? How am I going to get the numbers with the process of what Arzam's given you? Try and break it down to where there is no reason at all you do not have clarity of your day. Because as we know, if you do not have clarity and a clear intention, you will be pulled by so many things. Your attention will get dragged left, right, and center, and you'll end up feeling exhausted and ultimately feeling like you haven't actually moved to where you want to go, which is what typically happens when you don't set intention. You'll either maybe have a half decent day, you might have a great day, you might have a terrible day. And then when you come to review it, have you actually moved closer to where you want to go? Sometimes you don't even know. And if you can take that away and have more certainty, well, you'll have more conviction to why you're doing what you're doing. And there'll be less energy there that you have to expel into forcing yourself to have to do something. If you have the intention of booking more calls, you know how to book more calls, make it simple for yourselves. Don't try and overcomplicate it, because it will take so much energy away from you. And again, Arzam simplified it, but again, I know that, let's have a look. I believe getting to the calls needs a bit of prep.
Yeah. I mean, you've just been given project two, so you still need to kind of, understand the systems and then of course execute. But once you do, it should be very simple, and there's no need to really analyze things too much. It's just really taking it step by step. And I like to pivot onto a bit of story mode before we end the call today. Um, I was on my old phone the other day. I was just kind of checking for a few things on that, and I came across the Amazon Flex app. Now, for those that don't know, Amazon Flex was an app that got released about 5 or 6 years ago, where you were able to find shifts for delivery driving, where you go to the Amazon Center, you pick up parcels and then deliver to people. So when I first got fired from my job, um, I started Amazon Flex, and I used to just be on shifts all day, listening to podcasts, listening to courses, um, and kind of learning things step by step. And the reason why I'm telling you this right now is it's so crazy where you can get to in just a couple of years. And I was laughing when I saw that app. I was like, I was on there all the time, and I'm that sort of person. And I don't know if I should be saying this, but I always find gimmicks or hacks or easy ways to do things. So what I did was I figured out a pattern within Amazon Flex to get a shift and not actually have to do anything. And this wasn't cheating because I wasn't doing anything. All I was doing is once we get there to the station, everyone had to get out of their car and scan the barcode and just tell the app that I'm here. So for the 2 o'clock shift, I just used to wait for everyone to do that. And we had so basically it's a 2 o'clock shift, and we have about, I think if I remember correctly, until 5 past to scan the barcode. So I used to wait till the last person that does the barcode scanning thing that I'm here, and then used to do it after them. Meaning the system registers me last to give me the shift, or maybe it gives me the easiest shift, whatever the case is. It didn't work 100% of the time, but let's say about 60-70% of the time, I always got the easiest shift or no shift at all, meaning you just sat there for 2 hours for the time block. And I just used that to do my work or whatever the case is. But what I'm trying to say is, like, whatever I did, I really made sure to be obsessed with it, like obsessed as much as possible. Now, the reason I'm saying this in this scenario is because if you guys are obsessed, if you guys really want to make this work, you will spend every hour of the day just looking through digital marketing videos, how to get clients, how to get your first couple of clients, how to make sure calls show up, how to make sure you conduct the calls properly, or just going through the program itself a couple of times. Like really having that, questioning yourself, basically. Questioning yourself, introspection. Am I actually doing what I need to be doing? Am I actually really serious? Because I know one of the people on this call as well have recently lost their job. So I'm speaking to you directly without calling you out. If you're serious about making this work, there's no better proof that I can show to you of actually making 18K since last week, literally starting this agency last month. There's no better proof of doing it myself. And sure, you can say, oh yeah, but you have experience. Okay, sure, you don't make 18K in a week. Maybe you can, in the next 3-4 months, make 5K a month. That'll be still pretty life-changing for everyone on this call. So my point is, if you're serious, spend every single moment that you are free. I know you have other responsibilities, but spend every single moment doing whatever you possibly can to focus on attention. Because as one of our mentors, Ryan and myself, Marion Golden, says, the difference between a poor person, rich person, what does it say? Poor person and a successful person is the successful person highly focuses on intention and ignores distraction. Distraction is anything that does not move the needle forwards. So guys, introspection, question yourself. Am I actually doing what I need to be doing to move forward? And I feel like my introspection has come a lot from my dad challenging me. I told him about the new agency. I was like, look, this is what I've done. And then he always challenges me not in a way to make me feel bad, but he's like, but have you done this though? I'm like, no, I haven't. I haven't. That's true. And then I start to do that to myself, which makes me push myself and really be tough on me as well. So I really hope you guys can do that for yourself. But yeah, guys, I really hope this was beneficial. We have 2 minutes left. Anything do you want to talk about before we end today? Any specific topic or any question? No. Everyone's good. Okay, amazing. That's what we want. It's a perfect call. Any last thoughts from you, Ryan?
Cool.
Well, the workflow setup. I mean, I'll post this on YouTube, and then you can just pause the video and copy that. Yeah. Ryan, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I think just carrying on from the last thing you said again, having that external challenge sometimes can be good when someone's challenging you. But then again, when you have that internal dialogue to challenge yourself and hold yourself accountable, because remember that it's us against us in this world. It very much is it very much is a mind game at this level of life. And it takes a time to build that muscle up, but just know again, by working on that, you will become your best friend in business and in life, and you will support yourself more than anyone else or anything else could. And you know, if you don't focus on trying to challenge yourself and build a better version, you know what the alternative reality is. And no one wants to be poor, no one wants to be broke, no one wants to live in a lack of. We're all here to live in abundance, and life can give us the best. It's reserved for all of us if we put the actions in the right activities. And just again, set your intentions, challenge yourself. Don't be afraid of challenging yourself and question yourself, because what's the worst that happens? Maybe you found out you were BSing yourself. Whoop-de-doo. Great. You've now learned that you need to now get back onto it, and off you go again. Maybe you've been avoiding things. Great. Why is that? Because you're scared. Great. Why? You weren't too sure. Go and do it anyway. Learn and improve and grow. Come back again. It's not as scary as you thought it was. And you will just become a whole higher level version of yourself by just keeping that going. And again, that compound is what I'm looking at, is when you look back a year from now, 2 years from now, you will see you'll be a night and day difference from where you were to when you started to where you are now. And you'll be an example for other people. You can uplift others like how Arzam does. It'll all compound over time, but just look at the moment you're in now, keep yourself in the right state where you set clear intentions, and don't be afraid to be challenged, challenge yourself as well. And that's where the growth takes place.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, it was really good seeing a couple more people in the group call. I think it's the motivation after Eid. Everyone's had a bit of a relaxing month, Ramadan. So I really hope we can get back on track with either the outbounds, the cold callers, running ads, whatever the case is, whatever stage that you're at. Let's actually get this done in the next month. All right, guys, I'll speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye, everyone.
Exactly, Rahman.
Thank you for your time.